Now, let's catch up with Sipho Stuurman, who's been with the Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula. I think he might even have him now. Sipho?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Peter, and our viewers at home. I must say, from OR Tambo International Airport in the morning with the Transport Minister Fikile Mbalula. Now we're at King Shaka International Airport in Durban. And let's speak to the man himself and find out what is this campaign that is on here today. We understand, of course, that he's inspecting whether airlines are complying with Covid-19 regulation. And he took a passenger commercial flight from OR Tambo to here at King Shaka International Airport. So let's talk about that experience and whether you were satisfied with the regulations that you experienced as a passenger from Johannesburg to Durban.
Yes, I'm satisfied. I think the airlines have adapted very well to the new way of life. There could be challenges, and the challenge is not with the airlines, it's with the passengers. There are passengers who don't want to put on their face mask inside the airlines, and some of them have actually been arrested last week in Cape Town. But from a compliance point of view, professionalism of the airlines, the tune inside the airline have changed its focus on COVID-19 and conscientizing the passengers about the rules. What you cannot find inside the airline is sanitizing because it's inflammable. But what is required is that you must put on your mask and leave everything else to the airline itself in terms of HEPA. All our airlines are actually fitted with high efficiency particulate air filters, and that helps in terms of the virus that is now airborne, which can stay there for 5 seconds, and this HEPA is actually helping us to deal with that. So we are emphasizing the message, but also looking at compliance in terms of AXA and so on. Everything is on point, and everybody must understand that the situation has changed, and everyone is adapting to the new way.
You seem to place the blame on the passengers, but then, as we understand it, the reason that you embarked on this was because there were some complaints that came your side to say there are some concerns, there are no sanitizers, some people are not wearing masks. So are you sure that perhaps the commercial flights here did not put on a show because, well, the Minister of Transport is here?
Well, even if they put up a show, I'm with South African Civil Aviation CEO. I'm also with AXA leadership here. So we are not for Mickey Mouse approach in what we are doing. What we expect is that everybody must align and actually adapt. And should there be such non-compliance, it will be dealt with in terms of the regulations. So we are here to communicate a message to say there are these complaints and we need to attend to. And the feedback that we are getting is not from the airline side. The default is on the passengers. But also there is fear amongst the people to use the airlines because there is no social distancing. And we need to emphasize that non-social distancing is covered by HEPA inside the airlines. There is nothing to fear. Should there be any other challenges, we are able to mitigate that inside the airline. So as you can see in this airport, and we'll also be doing the check here in King Shaka, we are happy with the measures we've got. There is sanitizer every corner. Before you get into the plane, you'll be sanitized. But over and above that, put on your mask, and then that is it. And the scientists have told us that the safest space for anyone in terms of coronavirus mitigation is inside the aircraft itself.
All right. Now let's talk about the relaxation and perhaps possibly moving to level 1 and having more, opening international travel. You said that is something that's under consideration, opening up the international airspace. Talk to us about that process.
We are at level 2, and obviously when we move to level 1, and even before you get there, we are already busy now. Looking at international travel, and we will benchmark ourselves with also other countries that have already opened up and international travel for their countries, and we'll look at the risk and the countries, high risk, low risk countries in terms of South Africa, and also the new measures that we need to introduce for international travel. That is coming, and it's been processed, and we're discussing it. And once we have reached a decision on it, the NCCC will decide through being informed by net joints, and then it will pronounce publicly through the president.
Thank you very much. That is Minister of Transport Fikile Mbalula talking to us just briefly about the possibility of opening international travel as we ease the lockdown. But of course, as he says, that will be pronounced by the president and the National Corona Command Council. And today, of course, the trip was undertaken from Johannesburg to monitor whether airlines are complying with COVID-19 regulations. And with that, Peter, it's back to you in studio.